How are you guys doing? Mr. Deadman here of Horror Talk Radio. Let's talk about Funny Games. I don't know if you've seen this movie or not. I think it's a really good movie. Some people just do not like this movie. In fact, some people hate this movie because I think they hate it because it makes them realize, yeah, they're warped. They like violence just for the sake of violence. That's what it is. And that when they're entertained by all these horror movies, like so cheaply, that they don't like it. I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to reflect on that truth. It's a meta-analysis. It's a deconstruction. Well, Cabin in the Woods was a meta-analysis deconstruction of, more of a play on slasher flicks. This is more of an artistic art house deconstruction without all the There's something about Funny Games. Its approach. It's much more sophisticated, I think. Because you don't your first time getting to this movie, you do not expect it to be this way. You expect it to be you expect it to be a straightforward sort of a torture porn, home invasion, slasher flick. You know, you get your criminals to come in. Okay, they're not the family that's vacationing in this lake home. They're not expecting anything. And then you get your slasher stuff. You get your murder. You get your violence. And of course, this movie's directed by Michael Haneke. Haneke, I'm horrible with names. Let me know if I got that one right. Okay, and it's a remake of a movie he did, the same title, Funny Games, in 1997. No, this is the better version. This is the superior version right here. And that is an absolute fact. There's no debate there. The acting is much better than this. In fact, this movie, it has great performances. First off, let me just say, the kid in the movie, oh my God. The kid does an absolute wonderful job. When Devon, I think is Devin Gearhart, I think that's his name. Normally, kids in movies, it's kind of like, okay, how are they going to act? And sometimes, you know, when the acting seems sort of funny or not, it just missing some points here. Maybe you cut them some slack because it's a kid. But man, it really delivers. So let me get into this movie here. So the movie opens really slowly, okay? But it does that on purpose. Everything in this movie is intentional, okay, by design. It opens with a boring sort of, it doesn't really matter or do anything for the story or for the movie other than setting where the characters are going. And that's it. That's similar to the movies that it's sort of deconstructing, like the sort of slasher flicks. They're not really slashers. They kind of are, but they're not like the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever. But I could see some relation there. But generally speaking, the first part of a horror movie is usually pretty boring. Especially these slasher types or home invasion types or these torture porn types are usually kind of boring. It's just getting you into it, and then you're waiting for the killer to come in. Okay. All right. So, and it has some fun with that. But right when the killers come in, right when our villains come in, that's when the movie takes a certain twist. And the dialogue starts revealing itself to be like right away when the first violent thing happens, when our Brady Corbet, who plays Peter, and Peter takes the golf club and bam, knocks Tim Roth's leg off. First off, you don't even see the violence. It's implied, and you see the golf club swing, but the violence is actually off camera, and it's not doing that like in like the PG-13, like Hunger Games do that for the rating. It does this because this movie is really violent, but it's subverting your expectations on the violence. Like it knows what you want to see. It knows what you want, what you expect, and it delivers it. But what it delivers part of it while showing you things like, okay, this is your attitude toward this. This, and I'll get into that. Well, actually, let me explain it here. There's a very violent scene in this movie where the child gets shot. It's horrific, but you know it's happening because you hear it. But that's not the scene you're witnessing. What you're witnessing is Peter, like I said, played by Brady Corbet. You're witnessing him in the kitchen, going through the fridge and the pantry, looking for sandwiches, even asking, "Hey, does anybody want anything? You want any snacks or whatever?" While this very violent act is taking place. And it's not like the director didn't want you to see the violence. No. He wanted you to see that this is you. That's how we act during these scenes. Like, we don't care. There is a disconnect. It's all fun and games for us. And people say, well, it's fun and games for us because it's a movie. It's entertaining. True. However, the question is, I think the deeper question is, would you still be disconnected even if it was real life violence? And I hate to tell you this, I think the answer to that is yes, you probably would be. Maybe not for everybody, but let's face it, there's historic examples and current examples of us being disassociated with real life violence to the point to where, maybe it's because of dark humor or whatever, but to the point to where we're disconnected. There's no emotional response other than the cliche, I'm sorry for the loss, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, but, we still go about our day, make our sandwiches, get our pizza, play our, watch TikTok videos, whatever, like nothing really changed. Okay? Come on. Our ancestors watched, Roman Colosseum battles. People getting disemboweled for entertainment. We have kids in schools that after a school shooting, they expected that shooting to happen, and they're not surprised that it happened, and they have a sort of a callous, dark humor perspective. And then afterwards, they go get some McDonald's or guzzle down some Coke, which on the side of the Coke says "Be happy" or "Happy," whatever, this cliche logos they have on the soda cans or whatever. Very smart movie. But some people are not going to like it. They're not going to like it. And because of that, it makes you recognize that we're bombarded with violent images all the time with this, like, don't give a shit sort of attitude toward it. I guess maybe that's the wrong way to put it. People care, but it's like, well, at the same time you see real life violence, you also see ads for Wendy's or things that will make you happy. I'm not even talking about the pharmaceutical pills yet, At the same time, that's weird, right? Violent images. Oh, food, eat, consume. Food, eat, consume. Sex, love, whatever, Now, getting back to this film. So, like I said, slow beginning. Don't be off-put by that. Stick around. It gets really good. When the violence starts happening, when Tim Roth he gets hit in the leg, that's when you are getting into this. And then right away, that dialogue, it kind of reveals, you see how it's deconstructing this genre. When Tim Roth is like, why are you doing this? And the response that Peter gives is, why not? Why not? Because it's intended. That's what this movie is. And when when Peter looks at the camera and says, don't you want to stick around and see how this goes out? Breaking that fourth wall. That's when you realize what sort of movie this is. This movie knows you are watching, and you are part of this movie. You are part of the experience. That's what's cool about this movie. That's what I really like about it. That's its winning quality to this. I guess winning trait, I should have said. Very smart, very sophisticated. Like I said, some people are just not going to like it. Some people say it might be pretentious, whatever. I think the way the villains were portrayed in this film, the way they go about with this this callousness towards the violence, towards what they're doing, and how smug they were about it, man, and their delivery, great. Like I believed it. That this could happen and that these guys could have this sort of perspective on this stuff. Now, there is a moment in the movie towards midway where it's right after getting hit in the leg, where they sit the family down and he's talking about how, like, let's take a bet about who's going to make it. You're going to die first. And it looks at the Naomi Watts character. You're going to, like he says, after midnight, all of you guys are gonna be kaput. Okay, you all know this. Like, you're all gonna die tonight. You're all gonna die. But let's take bets about when you do die, how long you live. And he looks at the camera again, looks at you, and asks you, who do you think is going to survive? No, not survive. Who do you think is gonna die first? Because you make this sort of bet in your head when you watch these flicks all the time without knowing it. Or sometimes you do know it. I do this when I watch a slasher flick, when I watch any sort of horror movie where you could have a home invasion, people are going to die in the hands of a criminal, whatever. It's like, okay, I do this game in my head where it's like, okay, well, this character's probably going to die first. This character's going to live. You do this. I do this. We all do this sort of thing. The movie's playing on that. This movie also plays on the idea of plot armor, that certain things just can't happen because it breaks the movie. Like when Naomi Watts' character gets the gun and shoots one of the criminals. That can't happen. No. Got to rewind it. Literally rewind the movie a little bit. That's not supposed to happen. Nope. We're doing that again. Plot armor. And there's one other thing, too, about this movie that... Dude, I gotta say again, the kid's performance is great. When the kid gets the gun and about to shoot one of these guys, and when it doesn't work, when it's not loaded, that kid's reaction, oh my God. I felt that. Strong performance. I mean, even if you don't care for the meta-ness, or maybe you think the movie's pretentious because is it trying to say that the violent content is bad or whatever? Maybe it is. I don't know if it's saying it's bad, but it's saying that you're bombarded by this violent imagery and whatever, but you don't care about these characters. Yet it's reality in that you're seeing it, but you don't care about it. Do you also don't care about the real life violence you see? Do you care about it? How much do you care about it? But and really what I'm saying there, that's a bigger scope sort of question that I don't know if this movie really explores. It just sort of hints at it here and there. So it's not that big brained. It's not that deep. At least I don't know. Well, except for that one part at the end, with the dialogue between the two criminals as they They drop Naomi Watts' character in the lake because her time's done. And they're like, is this real? This is not real. What's going on? The conversation kind of reminded me of like two stoners. Yeah. But Funny Games, I highly do recommend this movie. I think you guys will enjoy it. If you don't, okay, it is what it is. But I was not expecting to like this when I got into it. I was expecting it to just be another one of these sort of movies. But I was surprised. And I gotta say, what really did it were the performances. The acting in this is great. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope maybe it helped. You guys take it easy.